Hello and welcome to Leeroy Gaming, where today we are continuing our coverage of Pathfinder Wrath of the Righteous. And in today's video, we are going to be looking at the blessing feature that is innate to the Warpriest class. Now, if you haven't already, make sure to check out the link above as well as below for the Warpriest deep dive that I posted earlier. Check that out, as it will give you everything you need to know about the Warpriest, its archetypes. It also gives you a quick preview of these blessings, but here we're going to go in depth and look at every single blessing as well as its level 1 and 10 abilities that are granted. As always, for your convenience, I have put extensive timestamps below to make your navigation easy. If you appreciate that and my content, keep it simple and slam a like. All right, with that, guys, let's go ahead and jump right into the video. Okay, now I do want to point out as we begin to look at these blessings that you're going to notice they're going to have two different effects. And the question is, how often can you use these effects? Because they're not noted in the descriptors. Well, it is very important to note that you're going to be able to use it up to a maximal number of 13 times per day at 20th level. But the calculation is 3 plus 1/2 your Warpriest level. So this is important, especially if you multi-class. So the top end is 20, and obviously, I guess depending whether it rounds up or not, the minimum is going to be either 3 or 4 uses at level 1 per day. Now, we are going to start from the very top with the Blessing of Earth. Now, with this blessing, at first level, you can touch one weapon and enhance it with an acidic potency. For 1 minute, this blessing emits acrid fumes that deal an additional 1d4 points of acid damage with each strike. At 10th level, you can touch an ally and harden its armor or clothing. For 1 minute, the ally gains DR1/- for every second level beyond 10th, this DR increases by 1 to a maximum of DR5/- at 18th level. This doesn't stack with any other damage resistance or reduction. So you can't, like, if you were multi-classing with a barbarian that had this kind of damage reduction, it's not going to stack with it. What's key about this is the type of damage reduction that cannot be bypassed by anything. So it's going to be a flat -1 to 5 damage per hit, no matter what. So that is rather useful. Now, the next one's going to be the Blessing of Law. Now, currently, the Blessing of Law is only showing one of the abilities at first level. It is not showing here the 10th level ability. Do note that they're supposed to have one for each. So at first level, you can touch one ally and grant him an axiomatic blessing. For 1 minute, this ally deals an additional 1d6 points of damage against chaotic creatures. During this time, his attacks are treated as lawful for the purpose of overcoming damage reduction. Now, if this is similar to the PNP version, if anybody in the comments wants to post what the level 10 should be, maybe they're just redoing it if it's not something that translates to the game easily. Owlcat Games, they have been known to be selective when it comes to identifying certain features that don't translate well to the game and kind of coming up with their own versions of it. So I'm assuming that's what's happening here, but I could be wrong. Okay, next we have the Blessings of Nobility. So at first level, you can speak a few words to a creature within 30 feet that fill them with inspiration. You can grant that creature a +2 morale bonus on attack rolls, skill checks, and saving throws. This effect lasts for 1 minute. At 10th level, as a swift action, you can inspire allies to follow your lead. For 1 round, all allies within 30 feet gain a +4 morale bonus on attack rolls, skill checks, and saving throws. Next, we're going to be looking at Blessing of Protection. First level, you can gain a +1 sacred bonus on saving throws and a +1 sacred bonus to AC for 1 minute. Now, this bonus is going to increase to +2 at 10th level and then to a +3 at 20th level. Now, it is a sacred bonus, and so that's pretty rare. so it is likely to stack with just about every other kind of bonus you're going to get out there. At 10th level, you can emit a 30-foot aura of protection for 1 minute. You and your allies within the aura gain resistance 10 against acid, cold, electricity, fire, and sonic. And then at 15th level, the energy resistance increases to 20. That is pretty amazing, considering that it affects everybody in your party, and it's got a decent aura. And 1 minute, that's 10 rounds. It's pretty decent. Pop this at the beginning of a hard encounter, where you're going to have potentially different types of elemental damage. Helps a lot. Next, Blessing of Protection. First level, as a swift action, you gain increased mobility for 1 round. You ignore all difficult terrain, including magical terrain, and take no penalties for moving through it. Not bad. I mean, it's only 1 round. That's the problem. So it's okay. At 10th level, you can teleport up to 20 feet as a move action. You must have line of sight to your destination. The teleportation doesn't provoke an attack of opportunity. Pretty amazing. Now, notice this doesn't say how often you can do this, whether you can do it infinitely or once a level. I would feel like this would be pretty OP if you could do it continuously, but we'll see how it ends up working out. Next, we're going to be looking at the Blessing of Air. So at first level, you can touch 1 ally for 1 minute. His range attacks don't provoke an attack of opportunity. That's situationally decent. At 10th level, you can touch an ally and give her the gift of flight for 1 minute as wings. So wings, there's no technically flying in Pathfinder. There's no, there's no Z-axis. But what this does is wings give you, let me see. Okay, I want to make sure to note it on here. Yeah. It's going to give you +3 AC versus melee attacks. And you also ignore the penalties of difficult terrain. Now, whenever the ally succeeds at a charge attack, that attack deals an amount of additional electricity damage equal to your level. So that's not bad. If they end up charging, it can be up to 20 additional damage. All right, next, Animal. At first level, you can touch 1 ally and grant it feral features. The ally gains 2 claw attacks that each deal 1d6 points of damage if the ally is medium, or 1d4 if it's small. These are primary natural attacks that replace any similar primal natural attacks the ally might have. Effect lasts for 1 minute. At 10th level, you can summon a battle companion. This ability functions as summon nature's ally 5 with duration of 1 minute. Ability can summon only 1 animal regardless of its list used. For every 2 levels beyond 10th, the level of the summon nature ally spell increases by 1 to a maximum of summon nature's ally 9 at 18th level. Now, I don't know what it is with Pathfinder and making animal domains, animal blessings, animal anything seem to be really powerful in this game. This seems really, really useful. Just having an extra ally that scales as you level up that you can summon for tough encounters, just great. Blessing of Chaos. At first level, you can touch 1 ally and grant him a chaotic blessing. For 1 minute, this ally deals an additional 1d6 points of damage against lawful creatures. During this time, his attacks are treated as chaotic for the purpose of upcoming damage reduction. 10th level, you can summon a battle companion. This ability functions as summon monster 4 with a duration of 1 minute, but can only summon 1 demon. This ability can summon only 1 creature regardless of its list use. For every 2 levels beyond 10th, the level of the summon monster increases by 1 to a maximum of summon monster 9 at 20th level. So yet another one because of the summoning companion element that I feel like will be quite useful situationally. Next, Blessing of Darkness. At first level, you can touch an ally and bestow a darkness blessing. For 1 minute, ally becomes enshrouded in shadow while in combat, granting it concealment 20% miss chance. That's pretty darn good. Of all the level 1 blessings I've seen so far, their effects, this one seems like it's the most useful. So it's like an additional, blur spell, I believe. It gives you the same thing, the 20% concealment. 10th level, you can place a shroud of darkness around the eyes of 1 foe within 30 feet. Target must succeed at will saving throw or be blinded for 1 minute. Not so great. All right. Death Blessing. At first level, you can take on a corpse-like visage for 1 minute, making you more intimidating and giving you undead-like protection from harm. You gain a +4 bonus on persuasion skills checks made to intimidate, as well as a +2 profane bonus on saving throws against disease, mind-affecting effects, paralysis, poison, and stun. Okay. At 10th level, you can make a melee touch attack against an opponent to deliver grim suffering. If you succeed, you inflict 1 temporary negative level on the target for 1 minute. Alternatively, you can activate this ability as a swift action to make your next melee attack during the next minute apply the effect. These temporary negative levels stack. You gain no benefit from posing these negative effects or levels, such as the temporary hit points undead gained from enervation. So it's very thematic, depending on whether you're able to make, the DC check. Could be potentially good, but more themed than anything else. I have a feeling, I don't know how effective this will be in reality. Blessing of Destruction. First level, you can touch an ally and bless them with the power of destruction. For 1 minute, the ally gains a morale bonus on weapon damage rolls equal to half your level for a minimum of 1. This is just great. I mean, put this on your monk or somebody that's got lots of attacks, and you're gonna be just increasing their base, their base damage for 10 rounds. Just phenomenal. 10th level, you can touch an ally and bless them with an even greater destructive power. For 1 minute, the ally gets a +4 insight bonus on attack rolls made to confirm critical hits, and has a 50% chance to treat any critical, crit hit, or sneak attack against it as a normal hit. So it's both a protection, a DPS potential boost, and protects you from critical damage. Both of these are really, really good blessings, in my opinion. Next, Blessing of Evil. First level, you can touch one ally and grant him an evil blessing. For 1 minute, ally deals an additional 1d6 points of damage against good creatures. During the time, his attacks are treated as evil for the purpose of overcoming damage reduction. Sounds good on paper, except for the fact that, you don't fight that many good creatures. 10th level, you can summon a battle companion. Ability functioned as summon monster 4 with duration 1 minute. Only allows one summon demon. Ability summons only one creature, regardless of list level used. For every 2 levels beyond 10th, the level of summon monster spells increased by 1 to a maximum of summon monster 9 at 20th level. So we see this effect again, and it's yet again pretty darn good. Blessing of Fire. First level, you can touch one weapon and enhance it with Grandeur of Fire. For 1 minute, this weapon glows red hot and deals an additional 1d4 points of fire damage of each hit. Okay, except the problem is in this Pathfinder Wrath of the Righteous, lots of demons. They all have, at the very least, fire resistance, so not as useful here. 10th level, you can touch an ally to wreathe them in flames. This gives them the ally cold resistance equal to your Warpriest level. If you're going to be going against some cold encounters, okay. Otherwise, okay. Blessing of Good. Is it good, though? Well, we won't fully know because, again, the 10th level ability is still apparently a work in progress because they do not show it. But the level 1 ability, you can touch an ally and grant him a holy blessing. For 1 minute, this ally deals an additional 1d6 points of damage against evil creatures. During time, attacks are treated as good for the purpose of overcoming damage reduction. Now, this, on the other hand, is good because you're going to be fighting lots of evil creatures, namely a lot of demons. So, at least the level 1 ability, very, very useful. Blessing of Healing. At first level, you can add power to a cure spell as you cast it. As a swift action, you can make your next spell empowered as though used to empower spell feat, causing it to heal 50% more damage, or deal 50% more damage if used against undead. Ability doesn't stack with itself or empower spell feat. That is potentially really good, especially at low levels, where if you know somebody's really jacked up, you got to get that heal off. You don't want them dying. That extra 50% could be the difference between life and death very easily. 10th level, you can touch an ally and grant them fast healing 3 for 1 minute. Fast healing 3 is basically regeneration every round, so every 6 seconds you heal 3. Not bad for like a out of combat heal maybe. it's going to, over a minute, heal 30 health. That's not bad. It's 30 guaranteed. Don't got to roll on it. But again, you also have to touch the allies. You got to get in melee with them. So if you got a healer that's in the back, or since this is a Warpriest, they may be right up front. But if they're still kind of far away from who you want to quote unquote touch and heal, this could be a little less useful. Blessing of Liberation. First level, for one out as a swift action, can ignore impediments to your movement or your mobility and effects that cause paralysis as freedom of movement. You can activate this blessing even if you're otherwise unable to take actions, but not if you're unconscious. What it's saying is if you're paralyzed, you can still do this to free yourself. So that's a very important caveat because otherwise it'd be kind of useless in a lot of cases. At 10th level, as a swift action, you can emit a 30-foot aura that affects all allies within a Liberation Blessing described above. Allies with the Liberation Blessing described above. Effect lasts for 1 round. So this is mainly really good if, for some reason, a bunch of people got paralyzed or disabled in such a way, and you can use it to kind of clear it off everybody. So in those situations, really good. The remaining of the situations, useless. Blessing of Luck. First level, you can touch an ally and grant them a lucky presence. The target of this luck can roll all ability checks, attack rolls, saving throws, and skill checks twice and take the better result. The effect lasts for 1 round. Okay. Interesting. Again, the whole 1 round effect is a bit of a bummer, but 10th level, you can curse an enemy of unlucky presence. Target of this bad luck must roll all ability checks, attack rolls, saving throws, and skill checks twice and take the worst results. Again, cool effect, but lasts 1 round, which I feel like makes it despite useless. Blessing of Magic. First level, you can cause your melee weapon to fly from your grasp and strike an opponent, then instantly return to you. You can make a single attack using a melee weapon at a range of 30 feet. Attack is treated as a range attack with a thrown weapon, except that you add your wisdom modifier to the attack roll instead of your dexterity modifier. You still add strength modifier to the damage roll as normal. Interesting. This ability cannot be used to perform a combat maneuver. So the problem here is if you have, I guess, yeah, makes sense. Warpriest would have high wisdom and strength. So this is kind of a nice way if there's a monster kind of far away, almost dead, for example, and you want to like finish it off and you don't want to have to walk all over there. Use this, hopefully get the kill, and then continue fighting something closer to you. Or potentially if you want to interrupt the caster, hope that you do enough damage so they miss their concentration check. That's another thing. At 10th level, with a swift action, you can recall any single Warpriest spell you've already prepared and cast that day. Spell is prepared again just if it had not been cast. What's really good, it says any single Warpriest spell. It has no level limitation. So you can use this all the way up till endgame and just pick whatever most powerful spell you want to reuse and get to use it twice. That's really, really powerful. Okay. Blessing of Repose. First level, you can fill a living creature with a lethargy by hitting it with a melee touch attack. Cause them to become staggered for 1 round. If the target is already staggered, it falls asleep for 1 round instead. An undead creature that's touched is staggered for a number of rounds equal to your wisdom modifier, minimum 1. Doesn't do anything for me. At 10th level, when using channel energy to heal living creatures, you can take a swift action on that same turn to also deal damage to undead creatures as your channel energy ability. Undead take an amount of damage equal to half the amount healed. That is cool. I like the multitasking there but when you're fighting undead. So the undead are only taking half the damage. It's a bit of a bummer, but that's pretty decent. I like that. Okay, Blessing of Strength. At first level, as a swift action, you can focus your own strength. You gain an enhancement bonus equal to 1/2 your Warpriest level, minimum +1 on melee attack rolls, combat maneuver checks, and rely on strength-based skills, and strength checks for 1 round. Again, generally the things that last 1 round in this game, that's very, very kind of like real-timey. is a little hard to effectively plan. So unless you're going to be really very concentrated on using it specifically, this isn't as easily to use as in order to get a good effect out of it. 10th level, as a swift action, you can ignore the movement penalty caused by wearing medium or heavy armor. Effect lasts for 1 minute. During the time, you can add your strength modifier on saving throws against effects that would cause you to become entangled, staggered, or paralyzed. This is good if you're going to go into an encounter where, I don't know, a creature is slowing you down, casting vines on you, or just things that impede your movement, and you just want to cast this within that minute. Those 10 rounds, get in, destroy their faces, and be done with it. So situationally, very good, but in other cases, underwhelming. Okay, Blessing of Sun. At first level, you can create a flash of light in the eyes of one of your opponents. Target is blinded for 1 round. If it succeeds a reflex save throw, it instead dazzled for 1 round. So again, my problem here is it's 1 round effect. It's not even guaranteed to blind. So you can consistently hope it's going to be dazzled for 1 round. And on 10th level, you can touch a weapon and grant it either the Flaming or Undead Bane weapon special ability for 1 minute. If you spend 2 uses of your blessing when activating this ability, the weapon can have both weapon special abilities. So that's kind of cool. I mean, if you're fighting a certain type of weapon, creature, and you absolutely need this, could be good. Okay, Blessing of Trickery. First level, as a move action, you can create an illusionary double of yourself. This double functions as a single mirror image and lasts for a number of rounds equal to your Warpriest level, or until the illusionary duplicate is dispelled or destroyed. You can have no more than 1 double at a time. The double created by this ability doesn't stack with the additional images from the mirror image spell. This ability doesn't stack with the additional damage from the mirror image spell. Interesting. So this is kind of, a partial mirror image. It's okay. It's only 1. I like having the 3 at a time, so it gives you a little bit more of a kind of a heads up when it's about to run out. But I mean, not bad. And at 10th level, as a swift action, you can become invisible for 1 round. It's greater invisibility. Full effect, horrible duration. Unless you can toggle it to use it in successive rounds by using, extra charges. So interesting. Blessing of Water. So at first level, you can touch 1 weapon and enhance it with the power of water. For 1 minute, this weapon glows with the blue-white chill and deals an additional 1d4 points of cold damage with each strike. Okay. That's kind of cool. Cold damage. Less creatures with cold resistance than fire resistance in general. So this could be kind of useful. And at 10th level, you can touch 1 ally and wreath it in freezing mist. Gain fire resistance equal to your Warpriest level. So again, a lot of creatures doing fire damage, the most common type of damage in D&D and Pathfinder, etc. So this one is kind of the opposite of the Fire Blessing, where I thought the Fire Blessing was kind of underwhelming because of the effects on the damage and the resistances. This is the opposite. This is a decent type of damage, even though it's not a lot of damage, and a decent fire resistance. And then finally, we have Blessing of Weather. First level, you can touch 1 weapon and grant it a blessing of stormy weather. For 1 minute, the weapon glows with blue or yellow sparks and deals an additional 1d4 points of electricity damage with each hit. Here's the problem. If I remember correctly, demons are immune to electricity. So this is going to be useless for a ton of fights. Unless you have some way to bypass that resistance. Hint, hint, check out my Mythic Abilities video. I believe it's Mythic Abilities, it's not a Mythic Feats. I think it's an ability. 10th level, you can create a barrier of fast winds around yourself for 1 minute. This gives enemy range attacks a chance to miss equal to twice your Warpriest level. So up to 40%. mischance. So that's not bad if you're fighting against a lot of archers. This could be useful. Okay. So those, ladies and gentlemen, are all the blessings. You're going to, again, primarily find them on the Warpriest class. So check out my Warpriest deep dive video if you want more information on that. Now, if you've watched all the way through this video, thank you so very much. You are a statistical minority. Know that I truly appreciate you watching all the way through. And if you watched this far, hopefully it means you like my content. In that case, maybe take that extra effort, subscribe, hit that notification bell so you know when more videos are coming out from my channel. And of course, hit the like. Also appreciate your comments, especially those that stick all the way through. Love your feedback, your recommendations, and I look forward to creating my next video for you guys. Again, this is Leeroy with Leeroy Gaming, and I will see you guys in the next video.